Welcome back, everybody, to the show. A lot to get into. Let's start with this. We will discuss some economic news. But first, Trump was caught, and Zuckerberg, I guess more relevantly, was caught on a hot mic, exposing what we all knew to be the case, which is whenever Trump will get business leaders to provide to him some big whopping number as to how much business investment is being brought into the United States because of Trump's economic policy, which again, we're about to talk about the real effect of his economic policy. But he'll say it's all worth it because we brought $17 trillion, a mathematically discombobulating claim, into the United States. And that's real, but then they try to bring receipts for it and it doesn't work. Something we've discussed a lot. Well, here in a few seconds, you hear exactly the game that is being played during a meeting that Trump held with tech business leaders so that they could all go around the table at fear of punishment and glaze Trump's donut or put frosting on his cake or what else? Do some plumbing on his pipe, right? And that's what it was. Mr. President, you're amazing. And if you do that, then he'll give you exceptions and he won't bring the power of his tariff policy down onto you. And so Zuckerberg gets asked, how much is Meta investing? And just throws out a random number and then a hot mic catches him later.
How much are you spending, would you say, over the next few years?
Oh, gosh. I think it's probably going to be something like, I don't know, at least $600 billion through 28 in the U.S. Yeah.
It's a lot.
No, it's significant.
That's a lot.
A few moments later.
Thank you, Mark. It's great to have you.
Paying attention, but sorry, I wasn't ready to do our for announcement. He said I wasn't sure what number you wanted to go with.
Quote unquote, I wasn't sure what number you wanted to go with. I wasn't sure what number you wanted us to make up. That's not the quote, but that's a translation of it. Oof. Sorry, I wasn't ready. So cringy. So what's the reality? What's the real impact of Trump's economic policy? Well, the latest jobs report, despite Trump putting in a loyalist at the BLS to try to get rid of this, shows us the truth. And the day before, at the same dinner, we got the latest jobs report. Trump was asked, are you going to trust, now that you have your guy in there, tomorrow's jobs report? And he said, well, I'll have to see the number first.
Thank you, Mr. President. Tomorrow we have a jobs report coming out, the first since the BLS commissioner who you fired won't be there. A lot of people will be turning to you to see if you believe the data that's released. Can you commit to saying the data will be credible?
The number, I don't know, they come out tomorrow, but the real numbers that I'm talking about are going to be whatever it is, but will be in a year from now when these monstrous, huge, beautiful places, the palaces of genius, and when they start opening up.
So he's going to have to see what the number is to know if he trusts it, because it's not about accuracy, but instead his political slant. And so then we got the number, and it's really bad. Donald Trump's contentious decision to fire the U.S. statistics chief has done little to stem an economic slump, with the latest jobs report showing only 22,000 jobs were added in August. And then, even more notably, the revisions that he hates so much showed that June we actually lost jobs. We lost jobs. Now, fun trivia question. When was the last time the U.S. economy lost jobs? In a month. And who was the president? Okay? Well, it was many years ago, a long time ago, in a place right here. And it was December 2020. Trump was the president. So you have the last time we lost jobs, many years passed by when someone else is in power. And then Trump takes over again. And this time he doesn't have the excuse of the pandemic. And we're in that place again. He took, while very flawed, with massive problems, an economy that at its core had some strong elements and is laying ruin to it. Is it completely ruined yet? No. But to see this shift so fast, so aggressively, to the point where what was a really strong jobs market is now weakening very fast. June, we lost jobs. And then August, very, very slow growth and a loss in a lot of sectors like manufacturing. the industry that he says all of his tariffs are supposed to benefit. Aaron Rupar noted this. The last 2 months in which American economy lost jobs were June 2025 and December 2020, both while Donald Trump was president. Never happened under sleepy Joe Biden.
I think the good parts are the Trump economy and the bad parts are the Biden economy.
There we go. Adam Kobesi said the labor market is far worse than you think. Not only was June's jobs number negative, but the U.S. economy lost 357,000 full-time jobs in August, and the U.S. gained 597,000 part-time jobs. Millions of Americans are piling into part-time jobs because it's all they can get. A lot of scary factors there. Even Fox Business.
I sure do. 22,000 jobs
will play on its own demand, but even they can't spin it.
Go through them, Lauren. I sure do. 22,000 jobs added in the month of August. That was much less than the expectation of 75,000, guys. The July number was revised. I will get to revisions in a moment. Unemployment rate coming in as expected, 4.3%. So that would be higher than July's 4.2%. Again, 22,000 jobs added in August. Let me get you the revisions because this is what everybody is focused on. For June and July together, combined 21,000 jobs lower than previously reported. I'll categorize that now. So you see for June, it was revised down by 27,000, getting you to negative 13,000, and the change for July up by 6,000, getting you to 79.
Okay, so to try to articulate this better, imagine if you would, there's only 2 restaurants you go to. You have a house. On the left side of your house, left, you have Jaden's Jerky, okay? And that's a jerky place. And you either eat jerky or you, on the right side of your house, you have Cole's Crabs. And it's a crab joint. And one day you go, all right, I've been eating Cole's Jerky. Or Jaden's Jerky. Let me eat Cole's Crabs. And you eat it. And they're these really orange crabs, okay? And you eat it, and you go home, and you have projectile in both directions, right? Projectile diarrhea, projectile vomit, right? From both directions. And your pee-pee doesn't work. I don't know why that was a symptom, but it happens, okay? But you go, I don't know. All right, I'm gonna go back and eat the Jaden's Jerky restaurant. So you eat only Jaden's Jerky for 4 years. And you're like, all right, but I miss the crabs. I don't know why. I miss it. And surely that was just an anomaly. That probably wasn't even the crabs. So then you try Cole's Crabs again. There it is. And once again, you go home. You try to make love. It doesn't work. While you're making love, in both directions. Okay? From the bottom and out of the mouth. At that point, do you just retire going to Cole's Crabs? Probably. But instead, a lot of Americans are going to keep eating up Cole's Crabs. That sounds like an STD.
Clean, beautiful, cold.
Crabs. The U.S. has lost 42,000 manufacturing jobs since Liberation Day that was supposed to be in the interest of manufacturing jobs. And the reaction that a lot of Americans are having, even this young American, when he found out that Trump is a real person and not a cartoon character, is something like this.
A real person?
No, he's fake.
No.
Andy, what's wrong?
Because Donald Trump a real person.
Yes, Donald Trump is a real person.
I feel you, buddy.
I feel you, buddy. Exactly. As we continue through this, please do, if you appreciate the show, click the subscribe button. And then if you want to get the members only bonus show where we talk a lot about stories like what I'm about to connect this to in an absurd way, more fun, random stories, you can click the join button. But Trump's economic policy, here's my transition, is about as reasonable as this surgeon's insurance fraud. A surgeon pled guilty after purposely amputating his legs for a sexual fetish. And what happened here, we could watch it a little bit. I know this is not the story you came to hear about, but the reason that he's being prosecuted is that he got his insurance company to pay for this amputation, claiming he had a medical need for it. But the real reason was that he wanted amputated legs because it got him off. And I guess that's not covered under his under USAA. What?
This is a new one for me. I've just been discharged from hospital, and I was admitted unwell with sepsis of unknown cause, but there were some complications of my hospital treatment, and I lost both my legs below the knees.
So heartbreaking. If I saw that video, I would if he needed, donate to his GoFundMe. Heartbreaking. Losing your legs is very severe. Doing it voluntarily by freezing your legs, which is what he did, and then getting your insurance company to pay for it because you went to Cole's Crabs and the only way that you can get off now is missing legs is a pretty strange approach. Not as insane as Trump's economic policy. There we go. That's how I stuck this in there. I just thought that was stunning. And hey, however you feel about Kamala Harris, maybe you don't like the coconut tree quote. Maybe you don't. I know you haven't played that forever. It's going to be hard to find, but I'm sure you can find it, Cole. I trust you. I trust you.
You think you just fell out of a coconut tree?
Maybe you simmer when you hear that. You hate it. But she did predict this. Not the amputee thing. Here, let me refresh this. The economic thing. Okay, the clip's not working. Well, she predicted it, is the point in the debate. Then, this jobs report is coming out now with Trump's replacement, right? Trump's picked to lead BLS. We're learning more and more about him. He was at January 6th, fun. And he also ran a Twitter account with sexually explicit attacks on Kamala Harris and mocked gay people. Which you might go, what? But then you go, oh yeah, I know, he did that. Oh, he definitely did that. If you just show me the photo of this guy and said, what has this guy done? Option A was at January 6th. Option B said sexually explicit things about the vice president. Option C, mocked gay people. Option D, all of the above. All of the above. It would be so easy. The easiest test ever. E.J. Antoni, President Donald Trump's pick to run the Bureau of Labor Statistics, said a bunch of gross stuff. Okay, we get it. That stuff, it's like, oh, and he doesn't like gay people. It's like, add it to the list. We know. I guess that. He's not the guy that I would take to the Coconut Club with me. Was that even a gay club? I don't know if it was. Sounds gay. And the unemployment rate, at the highest it's been now, still relatively low historically, but taking up to 4.3%. All of these factors are pointing towards worse conditions ahead of us, and it actually happens to be because of how low it was under Biden for so long. Again, however you feel about it, since 2021. Stunning. But Howard Lutnick is passionate as ever.
If you make it here... Well, I think you take the noise out, meaning if the leader is bent against Donald Trump, then they're going to have, such errors, and those things are bent. We've seen that in all sorts of agencies throughout this government. The people, the holdovers from the Biden administration, they're just bent against.
Why is it getting bent so much? I think I tell y'all why I'm laughing at that.
The president's success. They're rooting against America and against Donald Trump, and that's got to end. So he can't replace somebody, 2 weeks ago, and you expect fundamental change. But what you will get is an agency that's on side, just trying to do the best and put out the correct numbers.
Yeah, it doesn't make any... No, we didn't think there was going to be huge change, and I hope there isn't, meaning... I hope he doesn't end up throwing in the air the statistics process such that it serves Trump's narrative, but makes it more difficult for us to get accurate numbers on the state of the economy. You can see the different sectors visualize here. And again, I just think there's a lot that's notable here, but just because Trump has promised that manufacturing is going to boom under him, the fact that we're losing manufacturing jobs over the last 3 months is a really stunning figure. Oh, I have another Howard Lutnick clip.
Build that. I mean, think of the employment. You look at next year's employment, it is going to explode. All these factories we're building, all the plants that are coming into America. You know, you look at the unemployment rate numbers today, wait till a year from today. Wow, it will be amazing numbers.
So this is their new thing. Either you lie and you say the economy's perfect and it's not getting worse, or you go, no, but just get ready because it's about to get so good. It's about to get so good, so you should preemptively give us credit for the economy that's gonna be, despite us being able to analyze basic economic numbers and go, 4 years of economic growth and then we started losing jobs? Strange. Then more from Fox Business. One of the spokespeople for Trump had such a funny response.
You admit to being just a little disappointed by this weakening job market.
Well, 22,000 jobs underperformed just a bit, but it's still in the positive. Almost 500,000 jobs have been created since the president took office. It's going to take some time. But again, when everybody's working for the American people and the American worker and
So she says, just no, trust and believe. If we were getting this exact same information and Biden were president or Kamala Harris were president, Fox News would be saying that we're already in the Great Depression. Now, that wouldn't be a correct statement, but they would be going so hyperbolic and panicking over this. But now she's going, well, 22,000 jobs, essentially stagnant, and in many sectors losing jobs. A little underperformance, but hey, we're still in the positive, unlike June. At least August was positive. That's the metric now? Of course we're supposed to have positive job growth essentially all the time. That's the ideal situation. And that's what we saw under Trump's predecessor, then Kevin Hassett.
Go ahead and get your hot take. It's not the number you wanted. It was not the number that was expected. How come?
Right. Well, one of the things we know is that they've been really at BLS struggling with bad response rates. And Goldman Sachs put out a study yesterday that said that they've been messing up the August seasonal so much that over the last 10 to 15 years, they've tended to have to revise up the number by around almost 70,000 jobs when they...
Yeah, under Trump, the mess ups have led us to realize later that things were worse than they were originally reported.
Get the new final surveys.
So it's their fault?
And so, well, I'm saying that this number, we expect this number will be revised up. That's been the pattern over and over. And if that happens, then it'll be consistent with all the other indicators we're seeing. Industrial.
June was revised. He's relying on the revisions that happened a few months later. But the revisions have been the thing that caused Trump to go crazy, because as we gathered even more information, things looked even more bad. I was going to show this to you, but Harry Inton is just showing numbers about how Americans are not feeling good about where things are headed, which makes a lot of sense. Mitch McConnell calls Trump's second term the most dangerous period since World War II. And Mitch McConnell was saying, this is his economic policy seems like it could send us into a really bad place. Thanks, Mitch, who supported Trump. Thanks, Bubba. We've been saying that for a while. So then what's Trump focused on? He's going to rename the Defense Department the Department of War. And I saw that this is estimated to cost billions of dollars somehow. So I thought Trump was the stopping the war president also, right? Isn't it? I think the Department of Defense has a zing to it, because it's really our primary objective here is to defend ourselves. And preemptive defense, the power of our Defense Department, dissuades countries from wanting to get into conflict with us. But the peace president is going to name it back to the Department of War. And then there's that big picture stuff. Just don't forget, I won't be able to cover anywhere close to all of this type of stuff, but there's all these little things, all these little regulations that Trump's minions are having an effect on that you will start to notice. You might not know it was a Trump policy, but are the types of things that will never really make national news, aren't going to be a campaign topic, but are the stark difference between just steady, solid governance, even if on the big scale it's not exactly what you want, and governance that isn't really in the interest of working Americans. So this one, Reuters, the Biden administration, Pete Buttigieg, what Trump called him? Buttigieg. That's what it was. Buttigieg was one of the people facilitating this. The Biden administration required airlines to start paying compensation if flights were disrupted, just cash compensation, if there was a certain level of delay or cancellation. So that, which was amazing, this is definitely something that should have stayed changed. If your trip gets completely messed up and then they go, oh, well, you can use, we have a meal ticket for you. They'll hand you a little meal ticket. What? $15? My whole trip was ruined. Or we'll reimburse in credits the flight, or the different options that always were such a headache. You got to call a bunch, and this is, you got to just give them the cash back. And now the Trump administration is reversing that.
Even in Hitler.
Even in Hitler, that was in preparation for our next segment. YouTube viewers, that's the end of this segment. Figure out why I played that in the next segment.